And we're back! Part
back.
3, Mixed Blend. Joey, continue.
Alright, so my mom took the money and she deposited in her bank account, and like she's held true to her word. She took me to she's a water park in Downport, where it used to be, and she'd give me money, and I'd literally be there. She'd drop me off on our way to work and pick me up on our way home. So I'd be there the whole time she was at work. So, but the moral of the story of what I was saying is, of course, my mom's got a little criminal streak to her, apparently, because to allow her son to do that without serious discipline. But I wasn't your average kid. Like, once you recognize right from wrong, you recognize your child, he knows right from wrong. He knows what he's doing is wrong. He knows that he has other choices, and he can tell you those other choices, but he chose to do it anyway. You can no longer educate him. The only thing you can do is discipline him for going against your rules. You know what I'm saying? But my mom recognized that in me, and she recognized that I had a head on my shoulders. Yeah, I was doing dumb shit, but I was going to do it anyway, no matter.
Because I knew you were doing.
I knew I was doing dumb shit. There was no lesson to be learned other than I don't approve of it. You know what I'm saying? And because of that, growing up, when I was in high school and shit like that, didn't have a curfew. I didn't have to check. Hey, can we spend the night? I knew what was going on in my house. I knew what was going on the weekend, so I knew if I could have people. Do you have to ask your mom? No. No, I don't. I know I can have people over, but I know if it was a weekend where Mary was coming up to play cards or whatever. Well, we can do it Saturday, but we can't do it Friday. I just knew this shit, and it's shit that kids don't know because they don't pay attention or they're just not in the loop. But I was, because it was just me and my mom.
Well, that and just considerate.
Yeah, so I had that rapport with my mom. If I did something wrong, she knew about it. If I got into a fight, she knew about it. If she just knew. Because I'd rather her know now than find out later. You know what I mean? And I've grown up as a kid, I realized there's no fucking point in lying. Just, you're going to get in trouble no matter what. It's just a matter of how long that punishment's going to last and how severe it is if you tell the truth. Now, my mom may say, you're grounded for a week. And okay, but if I'd come clean, it's not going to be a week. It's going to be a day, and she's going to give up on it. Now, my mom wasn't one of those moms who would punish you and feel regret, because I was literally grounded for 1 year straight through twice. Once I burnt down a great big huge tree next to school, and another time I brutally assassinated this cat. It's another story another long story, you don't want to hear about it. So
I've never even heard that story. I've heard the tree story.
I want to hear about it. I want to hear about it.
How did you assassinate a cat?
I got his dad on that.
I like assassinated. Like it was
like this cat's just on like a
it's Garfield. Like assassination. Something.
Right, well, the fact of the matter is, I say assassinated to dress it up. It was more like brutally murdered and tortured this cat.
Why?
It took all fucking day.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. So I was a little kid.
You think you know Pain Boy?
Yeah. So anyway,
I can't hear about him just murdering
my mom literally said you're grounded, and the same response every other kid in the other world has said after that comment was made is, for how long? I don't know, a fucking year.
Jesus.
And I thought she was just mad. Come to find out, she was dead fucking serious. Because I was grounded for a fucking year. And I mean summer, Christmas, everything. And that first time she did it, I got a brand new bike for Christmas. And I did not get to ride that. Yeah. I'd ride it before school.
Petty bar.
Grams is petty.
Hey,
Grandma's
I said a year. And if you asked me about it, it's going to be longer. And when my mom said that, she wasn't fucking around. Because she had the same theory I did. Like with the kids, with Marky and Darius.
Marky, you're grounded for 6 months, man.
You're grounded. Go in the other room. Now you're completely out of my hair. I don't ever have to deal with you. And I can be mean to you because you're grounded. So go to your room. Shut the fuck up. When I put them niggas in timeout, I forget about them. And they know I forgot about them. So they'd be like, and I still over here holding these books. I'm hungry.
Feed me.
Auschwitz.
So
Anti-Semitic. Here it comes.
Oh God, here we go.
my thing with D and Marky was the problem was I was still like 17 when I was babysitting and shit like that with them. So I do sick shit like fucking scare them half to fucking death. I had this werewolf mask that these niggas was just terrified of. But I didn't put it on my head. I put it on my head.
Somehow scarier though.
Well, because I would stand like this halfway in the doorway, and it would just be like, "Hey guys, so what movie do you watch?" And it'd just come out of nowhere, like, "Raw!" And it'd be like, "Fuck!" And then take off. But the worst part was they were scared of Freddy, so I would go and get butter knives and put them in my knuckles, and I'd say, "So you guys?" And they're like, "Yeah!" And they take off fucking running.
In my defense, Freddy was transforming from pizzas to walls,
Coming out of your car.
primetime bitch, all kinds of shit. But then
I was
going to
terrified.
grandma grounded everybody. She's savage. Well, it's just telling the truth. I always told the truth to grandma. I don't know why. Mom, dad asked me something.
Grandma be grounded.
Lies. My grandma would ask me. I gave her $100 once, and she said, "Where did this come from?" And I said, "Shaun White punched a guy in his face. When he fell down, this fell out of his pocket."
No,
And I took it, and I'm giving you $100 to go to bingo.
no.
She's
So-
like, "Well, it's just
That's the
weird
thing.
because," and then she drives off.
Like my mom would try to be, like parental,
The
but then
authoritarian
But then
figure.
the nigga in her would come out, the hood would come out in her.
So you got me
And
$100?
she's not black, but I mean, the hood would
She's
come
got
out in
it,
her,
though.
and like she'd be like, "What did you do?" It wasn't me, Mom. It was really Danny's idea, but I mean, I was there. We broke into the house. It was, I don't shit where I eat. It was like 6 blocks away, and we got a bunch of shit. What did you get? It's right here. And she'd pull off her fucking hat and go, "Yo, boys, whenever they say that you boys down here on the south side of fucking Davenport ain't doing no good," I said, "Hey, you just got to look on fucking
Remember when he
board."
brought-
She'd put her hat back on, and then we'd get what was left.
He brought a bunch of beer from a bar once, and he left it there for so long. And me and Devin would come over every day after school, and we would just rub our hands like Birdman, looking at these cases of beer because we were in 9th grade, and beer was like a big deal in 9th grade. If you had beer, you could probably get your dick sucked.
No,
Twice.
it was a guarantee.
I'm just saying. So we're just
Now,
staring at
ladies,
him.
that's a fact.
So when you live on the
I
south side of Des
I
Moines,
never sucked a dick for beer.
Not you.
Well,
You're
Julia.
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 Julia's on this
Julia.
podcast.
Julia!
So,
Julia!
what I'm saying is that we're staring at these beers, and like I said, we're our hands like Birdman. We're waiting for the anticipation. I didn't think it was good beer. It was beer, though. But all beer tastes the same when you're in 9th grade. It doesn't matter who you are. We're drinking Keystone and Busch like we were fucking
It all
voting
tastes
for
like
Trump. So, we're waiting for it. I finally mustered up the strength to call Joe, and I'm like, "What's up with these beers? Can I have them?" And Joe's like, "I don't care." I
Yeah.
don't think he's been to Grandma's in like 2 weeks at this point. I got a duffel bag downstairs. I told Grandma, I'm like, "I'm taking these beers." And she was getting ready to go to bingo, and she said, "Where are you going?" And I said, "I'm taking these beers. I'm going to Devin's house. I'm going to give Devin's dad some of these beers." And she said, "Are you drinking these beers?" And I said, "There is a strong possibility that I might consume some of these beers." And she's like, "Darius, you know that." I'm like, "I'm staying there tonight."
Yep.
And she went, "Don't get caught on the way there," because she was not giving us a ride. She was like,
no, that's how my mom was too.
Fair
my mom,
enough.
my mom
I
was
could
she
drink at
said,
my
because she
friend's
says,
house.
she says, if you get caught on because we had a walk. And Miller, if you for people who are in Iowa, if anybody is listening, to get to Miller, basically Weeks Middle School, all the way up to Porter Avenue, is not that far, but it is somewhat
It's a
of
distance,
a walk.
man.
Yeah.
For walking purposes, it is somewhat
Especially
of a
carrying a duffel.
Sucks.
If you're carrying a duffel bag full
And
of
we're
beer,
carrying a
fuck
duffel
that.
bag of 3 cases of beer. And I'm not
Fuck
talking
that.
cases where it's like the 12 pack. Joe was bringing them from the bar, so they were big.
They're big.
Yeah, so we carried them all the way there. And a cop did stop us, actually, on the way there. And I was like, "Don't move, don't breathe, don't sneeze, don't yawn, don't do anything, because you're going to hear them clack together." Because we were putting towels. We were thinking of all kinds of ways to put towels in between the bottles to make sure they wouldn't touch. And then the cop's like, "Oh, where are you guys going?" And we're like, "Oh, we're to my house over there somewhere, and Devin's house up here somewhere. You know us kids." And he didn't even ask about the duffel bag. And he was like, "Okay," and just drove off. So I'm like, "All right, yeah." And I made it all the way there. I drank 4 beers, realized I hated beer at that age.
I think it was Mexican beer at that.
Yeah, it was Modelo.
But like you said, that's what mom was. She was like, if you just tell me the truth, like you're gonna be in trouble. But
Yeah.
if you lie to me, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
And I'm gonna
And that's
figure it out.
that's. She was like, and your uncle was like, I'll beat your ass. And I'm terrified of my Uncle Matt.
My mom admitted to me when I was in junior high, when I got to be about 8th grade, that she doesn't know whether I'm lying or not. And I knew that she could tell. I knew I could lie to my mom. I knew that I could outwit my mom.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and she's like, I don't know when you're lying, so you have to tell me the
Yeah.
truth. And I was like, I don't have and I always have, you know what I mean? So, and when I was in junior high and not so much high school, my mom looked at me like I was an adult when I was in high school because I was. But in junior high, if I went to my friend's house and we were there with his parents and they were drinking, I could drink. As long as I didn't leave. You know?
Yeah.
But that's how it was back then, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't expect, if my kids, I wouldn't let my kids do it.
No.
Because I can't trust these parents. These parents aren't the same breed as my mom's, or my mom's generation.
No.
They didn't grow up that way. You know what I mean? They don't have that in them that I can discipline my neighbor's kid. They just don't. Listen to what Julia was saying about or freaking out about the gun thing. If you tried to bring that up in the 80s or 90s, they'd be like, what was he doing? Bitch, you should be fired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I could go home, I could go to my neighbor's house, get in trouble, his mom would slap me on the ass and send me home. Then I'd go home and get in trouble by my mom. You know what I mean? So, I know that's a cliche, but that shit happens.
Yeah.
It happened.
And that's what I always say about us is that it's nice having, you know, there's different reasons that people are in the podcast that we have right now. Julia is in it because the female perspective is nice. She's great with topics. Sam is just, you know, different compared to what Blackwell might be different. And then you're the older one, which gives a little bit of wisdom. It goes back to here. I won't say I'm the black one, but there's a little bit of a black perspective. But that's one reason it's called the mixed blend, is that you get a different opinion from everybody. But the same thing I was saying is that we talked about it is that we reached a pinnacle of me, Sam, Blackwell, and Julia too, is that we know exactly what you're talking about, and nobody else will because that was the height of where it cut off.
Yeah.
Is that
My brother didn't
like so
have
for
none of
say
that
for
shit.
instance
Wait,
is
what do
that
you mean?
say for instance is like you just said, ain't nobody other parent touching no other kids today.
Yeah.
When I was younger, and your parent, if I was like, oh, this is so and so's mom and dad, I'm going to their house. This is where you meet them.
My mom
and dad would tell them if they fuck up,
Fucking hit 'em.
basically punch them in the face.
Yeah, my mom
and
said
they
the
would
same
go, oh, we already know it'd be the same if my kids were there.
Mm-hmm.
Parents don't do that nowadays.
No.
And it's weird that coming from like people before us, they agree with it. You agree with it. People before you agree with it. It just stops with us.
So I got
Because
told-
I'm not even gonna lie.
And it does. Like my mom's generation was her generation, and if you fucked up at a neighbor's house or something like that, it was you've now embarrassed the family.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
You embarrass the
So
family.
my generation, it was more of a second hand thing. Like if you fucked up the neighbor's house, it wasn't so much embarrassing as it was they punished you, now I'm going to punish you. See, my mom didn't get punished at the neighbor's house. They would get a phone call. Well, Sandy did this and this, and then she'd be beat to fucking death. Okay, Grandpa never beat Mom, but whatever. So my generation, it was the same way. And his generation was the same way, but that's it. It's
Yeah.
not going any further than that. Like you said, I see what you're saying.
I could even tell. As Aries gets older, I could see me saying, you know,
Hey,
to a different parent, hey, like this and that, and they'd probably be like, wait, what? I'd be
But
like,
if you shut
whoop him, bro. Well, don't whoop him too bad, because then I gotta come and
Yeah, that-
shoot up your house.
but then you say it to me, it's like, I got you, Joe. Aries. Like, no, I got to tell you, I spanked my wife's friend's kid for punching my son in the face.
Hey, man. One
Do
time,
what you gotta do.
I was all like, "You lucky you ain't a grown ass man." Like I got this. I don't know why that kid's your
Did you
son.
ever see that show, The Slap?
You ever seen the parody of that? That shit. Was
Yeah, that was so hilarious. Elm.
but yeah, no, that makes sense. It's like, first off, Ashley has a friend, and her daughter pushed Aries down once to get something, in this chair actually specifically. Pushed him down to get something. And then she got in the chair. And then I was like, did you just push my son down? And she went, yeah. So I was like, okay. Smack! And I kicked this specific carrot from underneath her. She hit the ground. She looked at me like, get down. She looked at me like, are you serious? And I went told her,
And then
her mom came in, but then it's just like, it was like that scene of 300. It's like, what can we do? It's like, what can you do?
Yeah, right.
But I see that. I think as a parent,
Well, because I know for a fact the mom, no offense, but like since the dad wasn't there, the mom wasn't gonna. She's gonna tell him like, don't do that, personally. But it's different when the dad personally comes up to you and goes, you do that again.
it is.
I only disagree because I'm personally different. Because I, again, work with
'Cause you're a
kids,
woman.
and like, well, but like, I work with kids, and I have those moments of like you just get real fucking serious on them, and they just cut their
That's
shit.
different.
Like you bring a kid in for like a dental
It's
thing,
different
and they're
just
like,
because you're a single mom.
is it?
Yes,
Okay.
it is different.
No,
Well,
yeah.
there's a difference between.
So my mom was
look,
single
here's
mom.
the thing.
I ain't nothing to
if
fuck
it,
with.
look, if it was hypothetically,
Fuck off.
if it was me and you, and we were in a situation where we were sitting in a room and you said something, it's easier for the or if it was just you, it's easier for the person to say something directly to you because you were there by yourself. If it was me and you in a room, the person would hold their tongue. Now, the reason that it's different is because they're expecting me to say something. If I say something, it's going to be the manly person in the room, and it's not saying it in a sexist term. I'm just saying is that the dad's
Yeah.
going to sit up, he's going to say something, and it's going to be different. If you're the only one in the room, and it's just you, and it's your kid, and some dude try to say something, and you stood up and punked that man out because you're the only woman in the room, it has a different bit of effect than the two people sitting in the
See,
room.
I just don't get scared of that again, and maybe this is like just the feminist
I'm not
side.
saying you get scared
No,
of
no,
it. I'm saying
I
that's the
know you're
perspective
not.
that they
I'm
come
just
from.
saying that from my perspective, like, I personally, I know exactly what you're talking about because a lot of people I've seen, like, 'cause like, I'm not a violent or anything person, but, like, I have no problem being, like, do it. You know what I mean? Like, just get strong and, exude. Like, I am. No, seriously, like, if you're gonna fucking talk about it, don't talk about it, hit me, or do whatever the fuck you're gonna do.
Alright, so on a serious note, I am the way I am is because my mom was a pushover. She was, if the teacher said that's what it was, then that's probably what he did. If the police said this, that, and everything, oh, okay.
Would you label that as a pushover though, or
She didn't have a backbone. She didn't stand up for herself.
She doesn't.
She would
It's
rather
like she
just-
didn't know how.
Yeah, it's like she'd rather just go home and cry about it or leave. You know, like if something was wrong, she
Yeah.
couldn't complain about it. But I am the way I am.
And still the strongest woman I've ever met.
Yeah, but I am the way I am because when I was younger and something would happen, I would stand up and I would speak for her, I'd advocate for her. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody called, a bill collector call or something like that, and I took the call, I was talking like I was Mr. Turner. You know what I'm saying? As a teenager. So, and my mom would let me, whatever, it's just like, that's what I'm talking about, but like, I am who I am because I am forceful or whatever you want to call it, independent, whatever you want to call it, the way I am because of that. And it makes me wonder is if my mom was super independent and stood up for herself, would I still act the way I acted because she role modeled it to me? Or because I kind of got my personality and my ways because out of necessity, but it makes me wonder if I would be the way I am if she wasn't the way she is.
So I think yes and no. I mean, I think yes. So my mom was a very independent woman, man. Like,
Yeah.
I remember one time we were in Arizona visiting family, and my dad was there, but like my dad wasn't there really, you know.
Yeah.
So, but like, so this lady yelled at my brother.
Mm.
My dad didn't go downstairs. My mom went down straight there and was just finding out who the fuck yelled at her and beat her.
Well-
And like she was just independent. She stayed strong. She stood up for
Yeah.
herself, and I got to see that. And as a role model, to always kind of just do that, for yourself.
It makes sense to me because
Here-
my shit didn't kick in until they left.
Yeah.
Marky left, mom left, dad left, and then I had Jasmine. And then
Yeah.
it was just, you know, and people change for the better, you know, and
Right.
stuff like that. So I'm not putting anybody down because my mom's
Yeah.
doing her thing, dad's doing her thing and everything, but then all I had was Joe. And Joe's not my parent. But
Right.
Joe is Joe. And that's just, you know what I mean? So
Honestly.
mine came from,
So
that's
I
why
asked
that's
you-
why I
I
call
asked
him.
if you were his dad the first time I met you.
Yeah, and that's why I call him my
For
mentor.
real.
Is that when it really came down to it, is that I was a pushover, and people would walk all over me, and people would act a certain way to me, and then it got to the point where nobody was there to nurture the fact that I was doing these things, or people were.
So you had to realize it.
There was a realization from it, and the realization came from Joe just being like, "This is how you should do it," and then now.
You're looking at it.
Hey, reputation precedes itself, baby. But that's what it was, is that I was basing myself off of the way but think of me and Marky. Two completely different people. Marky wasn't nurtured the way I was when you really think about it. I'm not saying it was a favoritism, there was just more of a baby aspect towards me than there was to Marky.
Well, they're always
Marky
Absolutely,
was always just, I'm Marky, and this is how I walk, and I wear gold-plated armor, and I will beat you up if you fuck with my brother. So there's always that too, is that you ain't gonna walk over me. You ain't got, that's fine, you can walk on me, my brother's gonna run on you.
Yeah.
And there was always that, and then if anything bad happened, then it was just mom was either gonna nurture me, or if I really wanted to go do something, dad was gonna take me out to do it. And then when they left, it was, oh damn, I don't know how to make fire, in a sense. So I guess the overall I'm saying is that based off how I was with them is the reason, I guess, the way I was raised, because I don't consider myself being raised until the moment that I realized that all the shit that was leading up to that didn't matter until Joe started taking the reins of everything for me.
But it's totally true, because like I'm an only child, so I don't know for sure, but like I know that like the many friends that I've had that are the younger sibling to somebody older, 100%. Like I have friends that they've never been in a fucking fight because they always had an older sibling to just like shit starts going down and that older sibling's just fucking there.
I wish
You know
I
what
knew the
mean?
feeling.
Like,
When I was a
bodyguard.
Yeah.
When I was a kid growing up in Oak Ridge, I wouldn't tell people I was going to get my brother. I'd tell them I was going to get my sister.
Yeah.
I'd use my brother's name against older kids, it would shut shit down. But with kids that were my age or a little bit older, I'd use my sister, and they'd be like, go get your sister, and then I'd go get my sister, and she'd beat the dog shit out of me. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I understand that because I'm the baby. I understand where you're coming from, but 4th grade to 5th grade, they weren't there no more.
Yeah.
And we moved to a whole other town, a whole way blacker town. Davenport's super black, and them niggas get the fuck down.
It's the ghetto of Iowa, for sure.
They get the fuck down. And it was like,
You're laughing? We're
I-
laughing.
it's like
no,
trial.
just-
It was like trial by fire, crucible of growing up, and I had a bad fucking attitude, and I was quick to fucking fight.
I remember.
So I had no choice but to put my hands up and do what I needed to do because nobody's gonna fight for me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just yeah. I understand having the older brother or whatever. And when Darius is like a perfect fucking example.
My problem was my wit.
Yeah,
I didn't know no better because he'd say something, I'd be like rapid fire back.
but D, there was a point where D transitioned from that to where he wasn't. I don't need my brother no more. And right in the middle of that, there was a situation. I don't know what the name of that apartment complex is over on 14th Street, but they were living there. I was actually staying there too. As a matter of fact, now I think about it, D comes running in the house. He's kind of crying. Everybody's like, "What's going on?" He did not want to tell anybody because he wanted to handle it himself, but his way of handling it was running from the situation, just fucking forgetting about it. So he finally tells Marky and Jennifer, and I stayed in the
That was
house.
Southern Nose.
That these two kids had. What did they do, Darius? They just fucked with you, didn't they? Did they
Yeah.
actually touch you though?
No. It was like walking home from something. I went
You went to the gas station.
went to Quick Trip, was walking back up, and the way that I walked back up was probably not the most favorable way to walk up. But earlier that day, they beefed with Marky.
Oh, okay.
And then that's the reason. Well, one, everybody in the neighborhood would go out and play football. I just didn't play football, and it wasn't like I didn't want to play football. I just knew better because every time somebody played football, somebody fought.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I'm not trying to get into a situation. Well, Marky ended up serving somebody. Walked to Quick Trip, was walking back up, and they was like, "Hey, you remember me?" It came at me.
Yeah.
So then I went back to Quick Trip, and they ended up coming back home after they left.
So
Bummer.
Marky and Jennifer ran
that's
down
true.
there. Marky and Jennifer ran down there, and Jennifer said, "Hey, stay with my son." And they were like, "Whatever." Marky's like, "I'll fucking kill you." So then they left, and they came back, and I was like,
That's how he was, though.
I was like,
Yeah.
"Where?"
He
And
said
so I
the same
said,
thing.
"Where are they?" And he was like, "They're from the neighborhood. Whatever. We've had issues with them before." I was like, "Well, then we need to squash it." So me and Marky went down there, and they were behind Quick Trip, which was a weird place to be. So I walked up on them, and they didn't think nothing of it until they seen Marky, and they were like, "Fuck!" And Marky was like, "You remember my brother? You ran up on my brother? You threatened my brother?" And they were like, "Eh." And I'm a grown ass man And I was like, look, here, stop. It's like this. I'm a grown-ass man, but I put hands on small-ass children. You fuck with my nephew again, I'm gonna beat the dog shit out of you. Straight up. Grown-ass man punching you like you're my worst fucking enemy. You get that? And they were like, yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was like, get the fuck out of here. And they fucking pedaled their ass. Well, one of them was on a bike, and then they left. But, yeah, I mean, I understand that because I had the same thing, man. My sister, one time, I rode the bus, and there's these two fucking hall monitors. You guys may have heard this story. These two bus monitors, China and Charlie. And these bitches were grown-ass men.
I'm China, I'm Charlie.
Yeah.
All right.
Grown-ass
We
men.
both got CHs.
Now, China and Charlie, they're both females. Well, to me, they're grown-ass men. And I don't know how, I thought they were adults. You know, well, anyway, we got off the bus one day at Edmonds, and they were fucking bullying me or whatever. And I was just like, and they were bullying me on the bus, and the bus driver loved them, whatever. So I get off the bus, and they bullied me or whatever. I went home, and I was like crying, and Jennifer's like, fuck happened? What's wrong? Who fucking with you? Well, fucking these two kids. On the bus, Charlie and Charlie that live across by the Wookiee house. Yeah. Get in the house. Don't leave. Because she had to babysit me. Don't leave. I'll be right back. And let me tell you something. My sister went to this bitch's house, knocked on the door. When she opened up the door, she pushed her inside and beat the dog shit out of her.
It's awesome.
The next day on the bus was a weird ride. It was awful silent. So I was just like, Jennifer, you know, for all of her faults, the reason why I never actually dismissed my sister was because of our childhood. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for that, I would just give up on her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, me and Tony's relationship, my brother's relationship, didn't kick in until I got older because when I was a kid, he was a teenager, so he was always running the fucking streets. So I didn't have much of a relationship with him. It was always just me and Jennifer in the house fucking battling it out, battle royale, every fucking day. One time, we got into a big-ass fight, and she had my hair, and I had her hair, and we fell asleep on the floor because neither one of us was letting go. And we finally just fell asleep and woke up, and it was like, oh, whatever. She tells the best story, though. I don't remember it. She had been torturing me, and we were walking out of Edmonds. She came and got me from my class. We were walking out, and there's like a double-door breezeway. She's like, the door shut behind her, and I shut the other door. And she was like, what are you doing? And I threw a book in and hit her in the head, and I just took off on her, beat the dog shit out. She's like, and all I could think of was when she tells that story is, Darius was like, this ends today!
Well, my situation is, I mean, I got a little bit, I'm the middle child, so.
Oh, yeah.
My sister stood up for me. Well, kind of. She was there for a couple occasions, but not much, so. And then, like, my dad wasn't really around, so I helped kind of take care of Patrick, so that was different. It's like kind of like how you are with Jasmine.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I just like to see the transitional period of people.
Plus,
Like,
you guys have met my brother, so he's very
Yes.
vastly different.
especially like you talk to somebody and you tell them like, I was like certain people I know and I'd be like, yeah man, oh yeah. I tell them I'm like fighting, or I tell them that there's certain things that I don't like, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I used to be assistant. And they're like, you? I'm like, believe it or not, based
old
off how
Darius.
arrogant, dickhead, wisecracking piece of shit I am, I'll take
We
the
love you
beating
for
if
that.
it comes for me.
Yeah.
I was like, back then that was
That's-
never a thing.
But no, like that's honestly one of like my biggest like when I talk about me being like do it, like whatever. It's just I can take a hit. Like I don't mind that, like because I've taken enough fucking hits that it's like that's not the problem. It's just I'm not gonna fight back. I'll just act like I am. But I've
you should
genuinely been able to
I
avoid
told these
conflict.
niggas that on public shit.
Julia fights
No.
back. She fights hard.
I fight
swear.
back. I'm
Hey, no,
so
you know what?
tough.
We gotta take satisfaction in is if anybody ever did hear this and they mess with Julia,
We're
they
beating
haven't
the
even
shit out of
seen the podcast.
Yeah.
Yet.
Right.
Because that's gonna be the worst
But I'm
problem.
fighting Darius. Like
Is
that's
it
the thing. I'm gonna
No,
fight.
yeah,
him.
we got that scheduled.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Yeah.
box kangaroos for 2 years
June
to get
16,
trained.
2017. They got months to train.
No,
That'd be
like,
the worst. If
They
somebody
better
goes,
train hard.
I'm bringing my podcast,
and
Joe shows up. Joe walks in first. No, Black
pod
walks
And
in.
then we just show up like.
It'd be terrible.
It's a fucking smackdown.
But it does
Life is
help
taking its
to
leg
just
off the
know
meat.
what you can and can't do.
Yeah.
Like, I know I can take a hit, but I know I can't throw it, so it means I can talk a lot of shit
We'll teach you.
up
Well-
until, you know, you throw a punch, then I'm like, alright, now what?
I think honestly, I think you're wrong in that aspect.
Do you?
You're wrong.
You'd be like more inclined to know than I would. Like,
I don't think that. Don't ever ask for a beating, because if you've never been beaten, you don't want it.
It sucks.
You know what I'm saying? And you can,
No.
you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying to be afraid of it, but I say it like this: I don't trust nobody who ain't had their ass handed to them. Not saying I don't trust. I'm saying, and the motherfucker's
In
like
general.
my buddy Matt. I ain't met the motherfucker that can beat me. Oh, nigga, you met him.
Yeah.
You just ain't fight.
You just didn't fight him.
but no, but
what I'm
understand the
saying?
difference between
So,
what I'm saying.
but
Like,
no, no.
I get what you're saying, but I'm saying that, like,
I've had my
I've
ass.
had my ass beat.
No, I
Like,
understand
plenty
you.
of fucking times.
Yeah,
I've never gotten in a fight,
Yeah,
is the difference.
If you don't plan on fighting back, then don't. And then I wouldn't
Yeah.
say.
And that's
I
where I'm
wouldn't tag-
mistaken,
I
but
wouldn't
I
tag-
haven't been taught that
I
lesson in
wouldn't.
my
I
own
wouldn't
life.
egg anybody on because.
Well,
Just
we're
avoid
gonna
it.
teach you right now, Julia. Just
Teach
keep
me
your
how to
fucking
fight.
mouth shut.
Yeah, and you need to be careful because you're gonna fuck around and run into like my girlfriend and then get beat up by a grown man. Because my girlfriend,
I've never been hit by a girl.
whoever,
When my wife fights, I'm fighting.
you ain't been hit by a nigga like me because you're speaking without an accent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. What
I
I'm
get-
saying
yeah, I
is,
get
if I'm
you.
out, if we were dating and we were out and some bitch got in your face, I don't give a fuck if you started it. She's fighting me first. Trust me. And I don't hit women. I'm not into hitting bitches or nothing.
Okay,
like
but
that.
I don't even
But-
support what you just said, though. I think you should. I think that if you and I were dating and we went out and a
Hey.
dude got in my face,
Shouldn't
you
have
wouldn't
said
think
I
twice
can
about
push
hitting
that,
him.
no.
I don't think you should think twice about hitting a girl that's doing the same shit.
Why?
I firmly
I
believe
wouldn't.
that.
That's
When I got
If
with
she's
Ashley-
gonna talk
We don't.
shit, she should be able to take shit.
When I got with Ashley, no offense
Let's
to her or
not get
anything,
into
but she
it.
was like this weird, you know, I probably introduced her to certain things that she probably never would have been introduced to if she hadn't dated me.
Like me.
And then when we started talking about certain things that we would get into, and I told her, I was like, if you ever got into a fight, I was like, I don't think you understand what's going to happen. I was like, this bitch is straight to fight me. She was like, what?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, this is how I get down.
But
So-
Just so you know.
not everyone's like that. But we also have a background where, like, if you fight, I'm fighting. Like, we also.
Oh no! I have a background as if I'm fighting. Listen, here's the deal. Here's how I was growing up. If I had a friend and he started a fight for no reason, he's fighting that fight by himself. I'm not going to get beat up. I'm not going to get jumped.
Right, that's what.
But obviously, you wanted to fight that dude, so
Right.
you're fighting him. I'm not jumping him because you wanted to be big and bad. But here, you guys don't understand. Like me being the size I am, people want to use that to their advantage. They start talking more shit.
They
and
get
all-
cocky about it.
You're
Exactly.
gonna
I've been in
fight.
that
Hey,
situation.
dude's over here talking shit. So what? Leave him alone or whatever. Well, I'm fucking fighting him. Well, just so you know, you are the only one who's going to fight him. I'm not going to stomp you out. And my friends have, why didn't you help me? Are you still getting kicked in the? Did you ever get kicked in the head? No.
You were
Did
being
his
fucking
friends
idiot.
jump in and beat the shit out of you? No.
You just lost
Then
the
I
fucking
helped
fight.
you out.
If
You-
wanna
once
be
you-
a
once you-
fucking
And but
idiot,
that's a
then-
big difference too. Is that again, like putting in the perspective of like if we're going out dating, there are girls that go out there and they're like, because I've got this guy that I know will
Yeah,
defend
yeah.
me, I'm gonna talk all
We've
my
all-
shit.
we've met.
Then
Well,
yeah,
I've
exactly,
met
and
twice.
that's something
Ain't
that's
no,
a problem.
ain't nobody's
like,
gonna get me. Like I just said, nobody's gonna get me in a fight. I don't give a first man
Yeah.
or woman.
That's
You know what I'm
good.
saying? But
Yeah.
And
at
these
the
guys
same,
know too. I've lived by that motto because of what you told me. Sean White was like, fight him.
yeah, then that's what you're gonna
No.
fight. Then fight him.
He's like,
So-
yeah, fight then.
Well, I mean, are we going to get them together? No. Then he don't want to fight no more. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Why
so.
do it?
We're at Southport. We're at Southport. Me and my girlfriend at the time. We're not together anymore. Kind of whatever. Anyway, I'm outside.
Fuck her, dude.
I'm outside smoking. I'm outside smoking. She's inside, and I see a ruckus. So I come inside, and she and her friend who ran her mouth, and now she got these two black girls, huge, biggin' black girls, like
Big
Like Baby D.
yeah,
Yeah.
ready to beat me.
You don't know Baby D.
And of course, my girlfriend, my girlfriend's like in between them, trying to stop it, and she's the one getting the brunt of it now.
Right.
So here I come. Security's over there, not doing a goddamn thing. So I step in between them. I push him out the way, and I probably hurt him when I did it, but I wanted him out of the way. I was like, "This is over. You're not fighting my girlfriend. Fuck that bitch. Fuck you, bitch.
Damn.
Who the fuck you think you talking to?" And she was just like,
All of a sudden, it is your.
"Oh wait, this
yeah,
nigga's
that's
about
how
to
it
beat
should
my
be.
ass." Because she already knew. You already know what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Where's your man? You better go get him. I ain't got no man. Then it's me and you.
Yeah.
And security's like, and it's even, and it's scarier when security there was terrified of me. So they're like, please, Joe, please, begging me. And when the people that you think are going to protect you is begging the dude not to kill you, they're just like, please, Joe, please. Yeah, get these bitches out of here. And then they do it. They're like, what the fuck? You know. So I mean, I've had it happen. I've never had to like take off on some fucking female, but I mean. I'm not saying I wouldn't.
Ain't no thing.
Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying, but like I've just had like, imagine that situation, but I'm the girl without a man, and then like you have the girl that's still screaming at me, and then when she realizes that, it's like, well, then what do I really have?
Yeah.
And it's like you have nothing. Like
Yeah.
like throw a fucking punch, because like I don't
You're
have a problem taking it.
You're taking their power away from you.
Yeah,
to do
exactly,
that.
and then
I
and
understand what you're
that's
saying.
my.
But
like
I'm just
spoilers,
saying.
that's all I do.
Yeah.
Like I talk my shit.
Yeah. Yep.
Shit.
I mean, that's how it is. That's how it is. But I've learned too that I'm
I-
good enough.
I mean, I'll throw
I'm smooth
a
enough
punch.
with
I
shit
just don't know what I'm
talking
doing.
Yeah.
that I can get out of it.
But that's when you have to say, I'm not. What do you think? What do you think we're gonna fight? I'm not gonna fight you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pepper spray you, and I'm calling the fucking police, and you're going to jail. You
I
dumb
just always
cunt.
rely on outsmarting
That's what you
them.
say.
I always
You-
rely on outsmarting them.
Yeah,
like if
yeah,
it's
yeah.
getting that escalated,
Yeah.
I can like use some big words and like
But-
de-escalate the
but
bullshit. But
there's
it's like
this-
at the same time, like I'll throw a punch. I just don't know what I'm doing, and
Yeah.
I'll admit that.
Just
like,
aim for the nose.
Yeah.
Aim for the nose. That's
It's
like
natural instinct once
Yeah.
it kicks in. But I mean, but if you're smooth with it, I've told. What was it? You were with me that one night. We went to Andrews, and I told that dude I was gonna beat him with Shaun White, and he was like, "What?" And I was saying that because when I argue with people, I say funny things. And I don't think
It
about
throws-
it.
it throws
And I'm
them off.
saying it, but it does throw him off a
Yeah.
little bit.
It's funny
But
in
Shaun White
hindsight.
was arguing with him, then I argued with dude, and this was like a legit. It wasn't like somebody
funny when
argued with
your friend
someone that
wants to talk about it.
instigated it. It was just me, and I've always been known, out of all the situations, to have been the one that stays calm and remembers
Yeah.
everything. So Shaun White's getting hyphy, and dude's like, oh, blah, blah. I said, hey, man, look, if you keep talking, I'm going to beat you up, and then I'm going to beat you with my friend. And I was like, not beat you, like jump you. I'm going to physically take him and beat you with him. And he was like, wait, what?
That's awesome.
And Shaun White's laughing about it, and dude's like, why is he laughing like it's happened?
Yeah.
And he's like, wait, what? And I'm just like, so go on. And then he left, and Shaun White was like, why? And I was
You
like,
did
I was
that.
just frustrated. And I don't want to fight this guy. I just want to go home. And you're making it real hard.
No.
So I just said what came to mind, and
The-
usually it just...
But honestly, though, you and not even that, you kind of just are truthful though at that point because
Yeah.
you're like, I'm really gonna do this. Like the other night on my wife's birthday, when
Yeah.
the dude you ran out, you walked up to him, you're like, keep talking to her. I'm gonna knock you the fuck out.
Yeah. And the last time, and I don't know if Darius gets it from me because we've never been in a situation like that together, but I'm the same way. And the last time I got into it, I said, if you keep running your mouth, I'm gonna pick up these 9-pound hammers and beat you to fucking death with them. You understand me? And it processed in his mind when he said, do you understand me? And he goes, you know what? I think I understand this motherfucker.
Hey, it's my go-to. I'm honest with him. I'll tell him, I was like, look, bro, right now, we're going to fight each other. And they go, what? And I'm
Me
like,
and you, fight
And I'm
right
like,
now.
me and you right now, we're going to fight. And I could put it on my grandma's life that my friends aren't going to jump in. You know what's going to happen 10 seconds into this fight? They're going to jump in. And then I'm not going to care. And I'm going to stomp you out. And these guys with me are going to stomp you out too. And I'm not going to be able to tell them no. And they go, he's telling the truth.
Yep.
Because well, not even
Yeah.
that, and then you have all your friends behind you, like,
Yeah, and then they leave. But I tell
And,
them,
and you'll be
Like,
surprised
yeah.
how mad somebody can be, and you can talk sense into them.
Yeah.
At the bar.
Yeah.
They're outside. This dude is turning all the way up trying to fight. He wants to fight these guys so fucking bad because his girl fucked one of them or whatever. I pull out my pepper spray and I say, if you fight, I am spraying you in the fucking face with this mace. I don't care. Everyone's getting mace. Fuck that, you ain't spraying me? I'm spraying everyone. And they're like, I really don't want to get sprayed with mace. If you fight, I'm spraying you in the fucking face with mace. Everyone.
And it is.
And only the ones that are super fucking stupid that think, you know what?
yeah, he can't
I
get
think
me.
this nigga's bluffing. Get maced. But that dude, the last time in the party bus, he was like, I don't want to get maced.
I've been on Facebook too, where I've told people, and I mean, you know, most people will say they got
Oh, yeah.
time to think on Facebook, but dude was like, "Oh, we can square up right now." I'm like, "We can." I was like, "And you're gonna get jumped."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, you're a pussy." Well, you can call me a pussy. I don't think I'm a pussy for jumping you. To be honest, I don't think you're a pussy if you jump me.
Yeah.
I think because it's like
It's the nature.
it's
of
like
the
getting
beast.
it's like complaining about complaining about being robbed when you sell weed. Like,
Yeah.
fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Chalk it up.
You're
You
starting
lost.
shit.
You
Just
lost.
to come back
That's
up.
why when it happened to Andrew in a certain situation and somebody got involved, yeah, I want to go out, I want to find this person. Trey was able to handle that, but at the same time, Andrew, you got what happened to you because that's how the game works.
Right.
Or somebody else happened to somebody else because that's how the game works. But no, yeah, I'm going to jump you. You know why I'm going to jump you? Is because my friends aren't going to allow it and there's nothing I can do about it. And I'm being honest with you. So if you really do want to meet up, then we can meet up. But there is times where it's like, it is going to be a one-on-one situation, and I will take the L because it's happened before. I've had 5 guys with me who are my closest friends, and the number one people who have never let me fight along, watch me get beat up, and just did it because it's a chalk up of respect depending on how the other person approaches.
It also depends on what the beef's over to begin with.
It depends on the beef and the other person.
Yeah.
Well, the other I
Like if you have
agree
respect
with
for
that.
the other person, even though you're beefing with them, it'll be a one-on-one.
And
You know
that's
what
for
I'm
sure.
saying?
But if it's like, oh, fuck you and your sister, it's like, well,
Yeah.
that
Good
affected
job.
my friend now because
Yeah.
he's upset.
Yeah.
And when he's upset, I don't get upset, but he's upset, and I got a problem with that for some reason.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just honesty. A lot of honesty can get you out of a certain shit, but I tell everybody, I've been out of more fights than I've been in, for sure.
But now that I'm older,
Yeah. I would
now that I'm older and a little slower, maybe a little weaker, I'm not fighting a lot.
No.
If you see me fighting, nigga, I go right back. Hey, here, I give it the bouncer rules. Ever since when I was a bouncer, I am a bouncer, but when we bounce, if you fight, we all
There's an
fight.
excitement that clicks into everybody.
Everyone fights. It's it's like it's
Look
not
what just happened when we talked about the dude getting mazed. Then he mazed him, Trey grabbed him, I threw him on his face.
Yeah.
It was a trifecta.
It's not
And
even
I-
like a question. Like I remember walking out one time on a party bus with a bunch of friends, and like we walk out and like we were all leaving a bar, and a few of us were behind. And as we're walking out to like rejoin the party bus, 2 guys were out in the parking lot just starting shit with some dude in the just starting shit with the dude in the parking lot. One of my friends just. Like, I look over at him, I'm like, what are they doing? And he's, like, already got his shirt halfway off. And he's like,
Yeah.
let's fucking go. And he's, like,
Yeah.
not even questioning it. And I'm laughing
We're
my ass
basically
off.
a gang. We're all wearing the same
Yeah.
colors.
But
Yeah.
but that's exactly, like, the mentality.
yeah.
But where it's, like, you go
I
out
don't get
there,
it.
you see your friends getting into it. It's like, I don't care what they're fighting about.
Yeah.
They're fighting. So it's time to go.
It's
I
just
remember-
natural
I
instinct
remember
between us.
Yeah, and if it's some randoms, it's gonna be it.
I remember
you're getting
meeting
jumped.
Darius
You're
and
getting
Marky
jumped.
for the first time during a fight. And well, we just got to really know each other. And then Darius is like, just so you know.
Spit that out.
Jesus Christ. And he spat it out.
Spit it out, man.
He spat it the fuck out.
It's literally
Sorry.
something hears it on the front, and it's like right at the front door. It's like dibs.
Yeah. No, like, I just remember, like, he was just like, so if I fight,
He's gone.
you're fighting. You straight up told me that. You're like, if I fight, you're fighting. And I was all like, what? And you're like, and then you walked away, and I was like, fuck. All right.
Not much of an option.
No.
I'm looking forward to fighting you, Darius. It's going to be a good time.
2 minutes, 2.5 minutes.
Bet I win.
2:03. So it's been a pretty good Halloween night here at the Mixed Blend.
Except that whisper, but we never happened again, though.
I would
Bring it up
rather
right before everybody.
I would rather not know what it is, in all honesty. Yeah, that's
You made fun of us.
huh?
How dare you say I'd rather not know what it is when you put us down for the whisper?
How did I put you down?
It didn't happen.
Elaborate. Elaborate.
Good. Like
Well-
final.
All right, well, happy Halloween from here at the Mixed Blend. We are in the Creeper's House of Pain. Tonight's episode was brought to you by Leatherface's Handmade Purses. I'm Blackwell.
Sam.
Joe the bouncer.
Julia.
E, the nigga ranger.
A
Bye.
deuces.